Hi everybody, welcome to week 2 again. I had no idea that internet access would be such an issue up there on the island in outside of Seattle, and then even the night before, it's all kind of a blur. Last night I was in this fancy hotel and I must have had the one place where there was no internet access for my computer. So anyway, so I just got through. I uploaded the rest of the readings for this week, and I am thrilled with, as you've probably picked up, these ideas have an extra special place in my heart, and so I really look forward to hearing your thoughts on this whole idea of looking through immigration, looking at migration through the lens of Turquoise. And if you've already watched the video of the when I was presenting on these ideas, you'll see, you know, all of these across time and across cultures. Turquoise represents healing, and I don't even know how I stumbled onto this, but once I became aware of that, I really started looking at exploring other cultures and exploring symbolisms of turquoise. And so if you haven't watched the video yet of my presentation on turquoise, please do, because I really go through a lot of the symbolism, the Hopi culture, of the Zuni culture, of how, you know, the conquistadores, the Spanish, the Moors, all of our incredible blue doors that started with the Moors in Africa, and then went up to Spain and then came across. And it was so wild when I found out the history of those blue doors, because I grew up in Arizona, and I always loved blue doors, but I had no idea why. I just knew that I loved them. So when I found out that it was to provide protection, it was amazing to me, because I didn't know that. But we're really looking at this whole idea of the symbolism of turquoise, of blue, and how it represents protection, how it represents safe journeys, how it represents the divine, how it represents healing. And to me, it really struck me that we're surrounded by this stone, we're surrounded by these colors in along the borderlands and along these areas where there is such a desperate need for healing. And the other thing that, and please do watch that video. The other thing that struck me is, you know, these, as I talk about these veins of turquoise, that the Turquoise Trail is a very, well-traveled path for actually tens of thousands of years. And it wasn't until the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo bisected these paths, these veins that have run the land all of this time. And it wasn't until 1848, which is a blip in time, that we imposed that border on the land, and what used to be all a wholeness. So let's really dive into these ideas. I wanted to also show you, so here's the overview. Yours is in color. I didn't have a color printer right here, but the overview is found in the folder for week 2, and there's a description of what we're going to be doing this week, of kind of the main ideas. There are the guiding quotes, and then all of the readings and videos are all right in one place, and please do read them if possible in order. They were put together with the idea of a narrative arc of there's definitely an order to this, and when to encounter those ideas, because each builds on the other and then comes around at the end. So anyway, so I just wanted to talk us through that. Your creative expression for the end of the week, whether it be writing or visual. One of the things that we're reading this week, so those are the ideas of turquoise and immigration and language. Our 2 readings from this week come from 2 classic writing books, and you may have these in your you may already have these in your library. If not, I highly recommend them. I mean, I think they're both from 1934. They have stood the test of time. One is Becoming a Writer by Dorothea Brandy. This book, oh gosh, it's filled with Essential Wisdom About Writing. I love this book. The other one is If You Want to Write, a book about art, independence, and spirit by Brenda Euland. And so our writings this week, everybody is talented, original, and has something important to say, and the advantages of duplicity come from these two books. Both, especially the piece on the advantages of duplicity, really builds on the clustering that we did last week. And it really looks at this idea of, as writers, there is this advantage, well, I don't know, I think it's essential personally, but of, in the first draft, in the shitty first draft that we talked about with Annie Lamott's work, you know, you let yourself go wild, you let yourself go free, it's that whole clustering that we did last week. And once we do that, once we get the shitty first draft down, then we put the editor's hat on. And then you start looking at it through that whole different eye. I don't want to say mistake, the error that most writers make is you try to do that at the same time. And that is where that, you know, all of that creativity, all of that flow comes to a standstill, comes grinding to a halt. And so it's the training of oneself to just know, okay, the advantages of duplicity. And in this, I'm just going to go crazy, I'm going to go wild, I'm going to let the ideas grow and flow. I'm going to trust anything that comes down on the paper, like clustering. And I'm going to do that actually for a while, and then knowing in the back of my mind that, okay, I'm going to edit it. I will go in with that eye, but this isn't the time and place. And then once that's done, we step back, set it down, wait for a little while. Usually it's not something that you do immediately afterwards. Usually I'll do it the next day, or, you know, I give a little time and space, and then you go into it with that editor's eye, and not the freedom, not the wildness, not really any of that. It's looking at just the craft, the craft, the composition of the piece, and trying to be as distant. This is where you have to kind of distance yourself from being the writer and really look at it as a reader, look at it from a sheerly editorial perspective. And this piece that we're including, that I included this week, the advantages of duplicity, is in my experience the best piece out there written on that. So let's go ahead and dive in. I set up the small groups as I did last week, and so each of the small groups also has the readings and the video within it. So under the folders, under week 2, there it starts with the overview and all of the readings and videos in order that go with it. And then in our small groups, in order to organize the discussion, I also included the reading and videos, and then we can just, you know, dive in and just start talking about these ideas. And we did, you know, thank you, Cynthia, for saying, okay, where'd everybody go? And Lindy said the same thing, hello out there, where is everybody? I was stuck on an island with no internet, which was actually an incredible, I was there working with laborers, with construction workers, and we were looking at the ideas of cultural diversity, looking at the ideas of second language acquisition, looking at the ideas, we did a lot with like sexual harassment and gender, and so it was a really intense couple of days. It was 8 to 5 both days, and I knew it would enrich my own understandings, and it did, and it was fascinating, and so I'll talk more about that. But I wanted to first of all say I'm really sorry. I had no idea that I would not have internet access, and so I apologize for that. So I got everything up and going. Let's go ahead and dive in, and I can't wait to talk with you about these ideas. Oh, and I did say on the final creative expression, play with, this is where I was going with that, play with those ideas, the advantage of duplicity. As with everything, writing is a muscle that you have to build. It's a muscle that has to be strengthened. And this is a great time when working on that creative expression, whether it's writing or visual, to really practice that, let yourself go free, and then bring in the editor at the end and start to strengthen that muscle. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this posted, and I can't wait to start talking about everything. Okay, see you in there.